Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And of October of 1988, there was a little game called Super Mario Brothers 3 that was released onto the world. And I was about 4 years old or so when this game was released. And yes, I played the first time I played it. I was probably 7 or 8 years old. My parents owned a business at the time. And basically, I would take that to work. I would go in the back room where the kitchen area was and where the office was, and I would plug my Nintendo onto the TV and play the shit out of Mario Brothers 3. That was one of the games. And lo and behold, fast forward to 2021, the game is beating the living shit out of the current Call of Duty by a ton in terms of views and popularities. I think last time I checked the screener, when I saw one of the previous videos from one of the other content creators out here, it was in the top 5, and it just goes to show you a lot, man. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War has exposed so many different things, including itself this year. It has exposed members of the community, like, for instance, who the true legit beasts at pub stomping are versus the non-legit ones. Like, we found out starting in Modern Warfare 2019, as well as in this game, who the legit players are and who the legit players are not, like in terms of, the ones that have been reverse boosting all this time. And I bet a lot of players out there, a lot of people that actually truly care whether somebody is legit or not, I bet they're pretty much like, they're pretty much mad as fuck and feel so stupid after realizing that these players have been either reverse boosting or cheating using Cronus Maxes or all of the above or whatnot, and basically have given themselves shortcuts to a ton of money and success here on YouTube and on Twitch or whatnot, or however else they did on Twitch. I don't know, but it's safe to say that there were a lot of questionable players out there. I knew of a handful of them sometime during the Black Ops 4 when I was started to watch a few things and noticing a few things. But one of the people that are legit that happen to still remain in the scene because of competitive, not because of pubs, is Scump, for instance. There's no denying that Scump is one of the best Call of Duty players to ever touch a controller. A lot of players out there, as well as fans, especially the fans, will put him at number 1. I definitely think he's one of the top players to ever play. He's in the top 5, that's for damn sure, but probably top 3, maybe top 3. But in terms of number 1 is highly questionable. But when it comes to slaying power and stuff like that, I mean, it's more apparent that he very well be number 1. But again, all subjective, all questionable. There's all, in terms of like who you think the best is. But the thing is, like, pro players have always been legit, and I always pretty much I respect the pro players for being legit, and to a certain degree, even exposing the game itself, and getting fined by basically speaking their mind. Again, props to Scump again for doing that. He's been fined, I believe, more than once by speaking his mind about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, as well as Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare was when it all started, to when he was getting fined or whatnot. So props to him. I know he can afford it, but still props to him for doing that, because he literally is. Thunder said it best. He is the voice of the Call of Duty community on both sides, because, back in the day when he was pub stomping, like in Black Ops 4 and before then, he was also doing it like for videos, like right then and there. He started recording, got a few gameplays, and wham bam, that was it. And the rest of the time he would spend either scrimming or maybe getting on stream to pub stomp, who knows. But for the most part, it was scrimming and all that stuff. So it just goes to show you, man, how good and how talented some of these players are. And thanks to Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019, a lot of the non-legit players have been exposed, and a lot of the good players, both popular in content creation and people that don't even create content, have all left the scene. There's very few people. I am for instance, like myself, in terms of player, I am a very weird player when it comes to Call of Duty in terms of what I like and what I don't like. I'm kind of a mixed bag. I'm kind of like my channel. I'm like an acquired taste, even to my real life. You know what I mean? It's like for instance, if for instance in real life, with the ladies, it's like you gotta like guys that shave their heads if you're gonna have any chance of liking me. But if you want a guy with hair, forget it. I don't stand a chance. I'm kind of like an acquired taste, So, and with Call of Duty, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's gotten to the point now. I mean, like, to where this is kind of, it's kind of sick when you hear about this, but it's gotten to the point to where in free for all specifically, now obviously in team-based games, full 6v6, I don't touch that shit. I'll play 3v3 face-off whenever they go back to 3v3, but other than that, in team-based games, I will not touch this game. I will not, I won't. But in free for all, I actually enjoy the competition aspect of it. I mean, despite the fact that the game's spawns are absolutely fucked up, I actually enjoy the challenge of getting in 1v1s, in 1v1 gunfights against the other 7 players that are in the lobby, which, a certain percentage of them are going to be very good players. And I enjoy the challenge of going up against that. The problem is not everybody enjoys that. And again, I only enjoy it in free for all. I don't enjoy it in team-based modes because I get screwed. And I typically don't like to play in parties unless, there was like a party that challenged me or whatnot. And then I would get either on my friends list or whatnot, or, on my content creators list, that some of them are also on my friends list. And I'll be like, hey, you guys feel like doing this? And then we can take them on. So that would be the only time I would do something like that. But other than that, I just enjoy playing solo. And it's gotten to a point to where it's really weird to say, to a certain degree, skill-based matchmaking has actually improved me as a player, because when you constantly play against noobs, there's little improvement to be had. It's kind of like, martial arts. If you're a black belt and you're constantly sparring white belts, or like, let's say or green belts or whatnot, unless that specific person has experience from previous situations or whatnot, I mean, for the most part, it's going to be a walk in the park. It's where you're sparring against other black belts or even people that are ahead of you or more experienced than you, to where the challenge is at, and that's going to make the difference. And it's also going to test your willpower in order to continue. Now, one thing I do want to say as we're getting closer and closer to the end of this video, one thing that I do want to say is that it would still take a lot for me to quit Call of Duty. It's gotten to the point now to where my standards have lowered. Like right now, with one of the things that actually got me back into playing a lot more than I was previously was because of the fact that next gen in this game just plays so much better. It's like night and day difference between previous gen. It really is. In previous gen, the game is broken all over the place. You can't even get a steady 60 frames per second. The gunfights are inconsistent. It's a ton of BS. On next gen, the game plays very smooth, and it's the way it's supposed to play. Thank goodness. That's one of the things that got me back. But also the healthy challenge overall, and there's very little things that I want fixed when it comes to this. But most players are not like myself in that aspect. So Call of Duty needs to listen to the majority of its multiplayer fan base, or else it won't be much longer before everybody else is done. There's very little of us left. And for those of us that are left, there's very little reason. Most content creators don't stick to like, for instance, I streamed like yesterday, not today, or not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I streamed the game for 5 hours. The only other streamer that I know that plays the multiplayer for 5 hours straight and streams that shit is Murda Show. Shout out to him, man. And the guy's I think he's got like 10 years on me or whatnot, maybe 11 or 12. And shout out to him, man. And I hope that man's health is okay. I hope the game doesn't give him a damn stroke, but he enjoys free for all like I do. But I've seen him, and he's also like kind of an inspiration that got me to stream this game again, because I watched what he was doing. I watched what he was going through, and I'm like, okay, this guy is one of the legits. And on top of that, he's also entertaining, the merciless badass. So shout out to him, man. So, there's not many people like Murda Show that can endure that sort of thing anymore. Marco J is gone. Scump doesn't do pubs anymore. Those other pub stompers are gone that you used to see play the game in multiplayer every once in a while. I mean, most people are leaving, and I'm going to end it here by saying, what would it take for me to quit? It's very simple. If the game's cheats especially on console, get to the point to where it is in Warzone now, to where like the good players in Warzone are always running into cheaters, guess what? That would get me to quit, because playing against good players is one thing. I can endure that. But playing against cheaters with aimbots and wall hacks, there's literally nothing you can do about that. And I sure as hell am not going to do all the other bullshit that some of the other guys have done. And something needs to be done about the cheating, first and foremost. If the cheating gets taken care of, then I like to think that there's always going to be a percentage of the community that's going to be around, but Time will tell. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.